Why
Yeah,
don't I just talk like this?
yep.
That'll be good.
It's looking
Okay.
good. Hey,
All
welcome
right.
everyone to the main stage with the Lion Flood. And today we got a guest direct from my heart. We met, I think, in my school community, and today we're going to be talking about school and cinema. All of you all know my background. Y'all know that's my home. That's where I came from. 20 plus years in media, working in film. And as he and I were talking when we met in one of the communities, I kind of heard the jargon, and we were like, "Oh, look at this!" So I'm big into collaborations, and like I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm gonna bring him on so we can all um, get to know him a little bit better. Oh, I don't have my sweater. I was going to show him my sweater, my hoodie that I got when I was in Amsterdam because we talked about that. He's all the way in the Netherlands, so but I'll show him that when we put him on screen by himself. So without any further ado, let me stop my yapping. If you all have questions, you want to know about cinema, you want to know about some intros into that, this is the place to be. Make sure you put them in the chat so that we can get them to Alec. And without any further ado, my friends, my Bostonaires, let's do this. Our guest, Alec Graf. Big round of applause. Woo! Look at that. How are you today?
Doing good. Thanks,
And
Ryan, for having me here.
yeah, absolutely welcome. So my first question I got asked is, what time is it over there? So,
Ah, good question. Oh, let's see. 5:39
AM or PM?
p.m.
Okay, good. All right, good. Because I know sometimes that times difference in European, I have people up maybe 3 in the morning or something. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, no,
So
no.
I understand that. So hey, thanks for stopping in here. And I just want to say this is so enjoyable for me, kind of like I was saying earlier, because number one, you know how we've had those conversations before, but just you brought that spice back in me when you were talking about film and how to set up and boards and all that. And I
Wow.
was like, ooh, look at I haven't had that talk in a while, so I appreciate that. Um, but before we even get into what you do and all that stuff, I want you to take a moment, and I'm going to give you the stage to talk to the audience out there and tell them a little bit about just who you are personally, right? We're going to get into the community. We're going to get maybe just talk about your journey of how you started this, and just take a few moments, and then the stage is yours.
Well, I was born in Los Angeles, actually Studio City, which is right next to Burbank, where all the studios are. And I don't know, I guess maybe filmmaking was kind of in my life right from the very beginning. I started making films with Super 8 cameras way back when that was a thing. And never really got into the industry. I went off, did other things, ended up spending half my adult life in Europe, and that's where I am now. But for the past 10 years or so, I've been getting back into making independent films, just working by myself with people, friends, and students, just people in general that I meet, and we make some films together. And I've also been a writer for many, many years. So it just all comes together, and that's why I ended up starting this community on Skool. That's a little bit about my background and how I got to where I am.
Yeah, I love that. And thanks for sharing that because, you know, even those little intricate things we mentioned when we say, you know, Studio City and all of that stuff, I've been there, I've seen it. So as you mention that, my brain starts visualizing. I'm like, oh, I remember when I drove it. That is so interesting. And one of the great things I love about when you were referencing just now is you got to see, in essence, both sides of the world, right? Where you came from here and then you went to like Europe, you said over there. And is it as prevalent the movie kind of world over there? So for example, what I'm referencing is we see a lot tons of American movies here. We don't see tons of European or other country movies here. But I've heard that American movies are shown more, or not more, but are shown there as well, right? Is it, did you kind of
Oh
see
yeah.
that as well?
Oh
Yeah.
sure, sure. They have an IMAX theater here in the town where I live, and the usual stuff is there,
Yeah.
but also just about, I don't know, 3 minutes walk from where I am, there's a small theater, cinema, and they show just European films, things that you would never see on a stage, in a theater in the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a deep movie culture here.
Yeah.
not just
Love that.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, love that. Thank you for sharing that. And as you were talking just now, I did find my my tool. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Amsterdam. So I got
Triple
this when
X.
we
Oh,
went over
okay.
there.
I get
Uh,
it.
and my quick story on that, and then I'm gonna get you to talk about your community here. So my wife, we did a European trip. We went. I don't remember. I never can remember the exact location for. We went Paris, Amsterdam, and London. Somewhere
Oh,
one of those
nice.
three first, right? And so
Yeah, yeah.
of course, we're doing a typical tourist thing. We went to go see the red light district, and there was these
That's
guys
right.
out there with the yellow jackets on for tourists. And we're like, "Where's the red light district?" And they tell us, "Go down here, make a left by this big church." And so we did. And then we're going, and every like three stores, there's a type of store, that type of store.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and so, and we're asking everyone, "Where's the red light district?" And people are kind of like laughing at us, not like not meanly, right, but just like, "Oh yeah, tourists." But they were laughing at us. So we found out that we were in the red light district. We thought it
Really?
was like you would see a sign that says you're entering into like a park, right? That says red light district. We thought it would be like a sign, but we were in there. And so all day we're walking around asking people, but we didn't really know until it got nighttime. And then we just,
Then
so
it
anyway, my
then it
little quick
livens
thing.
up, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never
So,
actually been there to be honest. I mean,
okay.
I've walked through during the day, but not at night. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
like at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't live in Amsterdam. I live south of there, and it's much tamer here.
Oh, I would imagine. And we ran into, there's more bikes than
Oh
people,
yeah.
kind of.
Oh yeah.
Everyone
Oh yeah.
bikes, and then there's canals near the home. So, oh, we want to see that
That's
part
right.
next time we go back. All right, so let's talk about
Okay.
community. I'm going to give you the stage here. I want you to tell the audience watching out there just a little bit about your community, and then we're going to come back, and then later you're going to share a little bit about it. But I want to talk about why you started it first, and then down the line we're going to show people what's in it. So tell the audience a little bit about why you started it, what made you kind of say, you know what, I'm at a point where I want to, you know, show other people, help them, teach them, give them little tips or stuff like that. So audience, Bostoners, if you're watching this is a moment that you want to take out some pen and paper and listen, because these little moments kind of keep you going when it gets tough, right? You get that why, when maybe it's not going the way you want it to go. You got to remember, this is why I started. So the stage is yours.
Yeah. Well, I had initially joined a school community to learn how to generate AI videos. I had never done that before. I only had worked live, with actual cameras, and that's kind of the big thing coming up. And there was this advertisement that I saw, $5 to join my community, and I thought, well, that sounds doable, and so I joined, and that was my first experience in school. Ended up joining, I don't know, some 20 other communities about all sorts of different topics because it's so rich here in school. But a number of those were dealing with, making AI videos. Um, and one I got really involved in very deeply. And I just started realizing that the focus wasn't what I was really all that interested in. They were more focused on making viral videos and things like that. And I really like to make, narrative cinema, things that stories, that tell, um, little stories about people, and not just something that'll necessarily go viral. I don't really care about that myself. So I decided, well, maybe I'm not finding what I really like here. I'm spending all this time answering questions and talking to people about things. Why don't I just do that in my own community? That's how I started.
I love when you just made a specific point about the viral thing. In my community, and one of the things I did in one of my trainings one time is I told people, don't worry about the virality of a video and so forth, right? I know that's the
Mhm.
main focus everyone talks about. But I
Okay.
said, you don't want that. And they're like, yeah, we do. I said, trust me, you don't. I've had viral videos. And I said, I can make, and I jokingly said, I can make a video of a soda and make it go viral. And everyone laughed and they're like, no, you don't. I was like, okay, challenge, let's do this. So I said, put a video out and everyone made their own video and we posted it same day, same time type of a thing. And I still have that video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that in my community today and talk about that. So I made a video
Cool.
about how to open up a Mountain Dew kind of packaging.
Okay.
Uh, 2 days, it got about 50,000 views. And
Wow.
then in about 2 or 3 weeks later, it was up to like about a million, 2 million views,
Oh,
right?
sure.
And so
Wow.
everyone in the community who we did it, they all knew it wasn't fake, it wasn't none of that stuff because we all did it at the
Yeah.
same time. And I said, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Wow, you made a video go." And I was like, "Well, that's not really viral. Viral to most people is like 10, 20, 30 million, but I feel like it's just 2
Yeah.
million views. But to them, 2 million views was like, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine that. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember, and it always takes me back to like remembering when I started. I was like, oh yeah, now that's it's not normal, but it's not a surprise that I got a million views on something, right? Whereas
Mm.
when I first started, I was like, oh man, can I just get 1,000 views? So I have to take myself back to remember their feeling, what I was feeling when I was new. But I told
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't worry about viral videos because you got to keep it up.
Yeah.
you you got to
That's
keep it
true.
up. You make
That's
one, then you
right.
got to then you stressing yourself. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do next? And then you're worrying that if it does go viral, the next video doesn't. Like, just have fun. If it ain't
Yeah.
fun, don't invite me, right? So, but I appreciate
Yeah.
you saying that so much because it is the truth.
Mm.
So, we're going to go take a break for some of our sponsors to get some of these bills paid. But any response you want to say back to that really quick before we jump into this commercial?
Yeah, I mean, viral, what does it really do for anybody? It's just kind of this thing that people watch for 15 seconds. Maybe they click on your community and they'll follow you, but will they really engage with you then? If you're
Yeah,
not producing, something that's meaningful to them,
yeah.
you just get lost in the
Oh
noise.
my goodness. Listen, as you reference some of these things, it gives me those little pockets in my brain of like when I did some training and stuff, right? And so I have this. Do you remember the movie Bloodsport with Jean Claude
I
Van
don't think I've,
Damme and
yeah, I've heard of
and
it. I
okay,
don't think
so
I
there's a
saw it.
there's a part in it where it's an underground kumite fighting kind of thing and so forth.
Hmm.
But there's a part in it where Jean-Claude Van Damme has this his trainer taught him this one punch type of a thing. It's a karate movie.
Mm.
And what happens is he has 3 bricks and then instead you have to punch the bricks and you see those karate movies
Right.
where they chop it and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all the bricks fall and
Uh-huh,
break.
sure.
Well,
Uh-huh.
this is like a specific type of hit and you hit it and only the middle brick breaks.
Wow.
Okay, so
Okay.
it demonstrates power and all that. But what happens is he's doing that in the kumite, in the fighting ring, and he
Hmm.
does it. And of course, some of the fighters around are watching him and they clap and stuff. But there's this one fighter who's watching, and it goes, and he's the champion. He's the one everyone's trying to beat. And he turns, the camera turns to him, and he says, "Bricks don't hit back." Right? And he's trying to tell him like that's pretty, that's great, but bricks don't hit you back. It's a different thing when you get in the ring. And so I say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when I used to do this part of my training, I say, likes don't make you money, right?
That's
Those
right.
views,
Yeah.
like, because it goes back to what you said, people want a million views, but what does it mean a million views if those people don't interact with you? I'd rather have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
thousand and people
That's right.
who are part of something than 10 million people who just sit there and do nothing. So anyways, hey, let
Exactly.
me get these bills paid really quick. We're going to be right back on the other side of this break with Alec Graf all the way from the Netherlands. Let me take this break real quick.
Since my City Custom Cash Card automatically adjusts to earn me more cash back in my top eligible category, suddenly life's feeling a little more automatic. Like doors opening wherever I go. Even the ground is moving for me. Y'all seen this? Wow. And I don't even have to activate anything. Oh, automatic sashimi.
Earn cash back that automatically adjusts to how you spend with the City Custom Cash Card.
You do your thing, and you do it well. Now, it's time to do it bigger. It's time for Shopify. Shopify makes it easy to set up your online store, expand into new sales channels, and bring your brand into the real world. Get everything you need to launch your business today with Shopify.
Oh, all right, my people, we're back with Alec Graf. I know y'all saw me touching up my makeup a little bit. Times are rough. I don't know if I can afford a makeup artist any longer, so gotta learn to do some things on yourself. I'm kidding, guys. So, all right, so now we're gonna talk a little bit really quick for anyone who's watching who's saying, well, how do I get started in this? How do I do something like that, right? Because sometimes when we've been doing something for a certain period of time, we do forget what it feels like to be new, right? We do forget like how I didn't know where to go. And I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite things that I love thinking when I tell people is I tell people there are so many options for you to choose from now. When we kind of were starting, and I know myself, and I would presume you, there wasn't 30,000 options. It was only a few type of film you can make. There was only two cameras or three. Now you can just get this kind of camera, that kind of camera, this AI, that AI. So sometimes it might be a little confusing. So I want you to take a second, Alec, to break down to the audience watching, for anyone who may say, I want to learn a little bit more about the cinema world, right? Where would you suggest for them to start? Um, and then maybe tell a little bit about how you started as well. The stage is yours.
Well, um, to begin with, I just start with my iPhone, or your own phone, whatever it is, and just start training your eye. Just look around through that lens and try to see the world framed by that lens. What does it look like there? We see all of this stuff around us, but the camera frame is very small, and there's a pattern in there, and you want to try to pick out that pattern and what looks good to you, and then start thinking about stories you want to tell, and how can you make those stories fit them into this frame, and so I mean that's kind of where I'd start with that.
Yeah.
As far as like making a school, that's a whole nother topic, and maybe we can get
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, and this is one of the great things, right? Because again, we overcomplicate things sometimes, right? And a simplification of it. And one of my trainings I also talk about is just use your phone, especially now, right? Phones have come so far. The camera work on those, the cameras are great on some of those phones, better than some DSLRs and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And I have some videos when I'm doing some of my trainings, and I will bring up some of the videos to show people that some of the Super Bowl commercials were shot on iPhones.
that's right.
That is crazy to me when I started learning about
I
that.
know.
And you would never think it. You'd be like, that's an iPhone camera? I'm like, yeah, that's an
Mm,
iPhone camera. And so
right, right.
now we're going to get ready to jump into a little bit of your community, and we're going to talk about that and some of the great things. And I wanted to just bring up this picture really quick. This is one of the art things that I saw when we first looked at your page and stuff. Making cinema, art, and craft. Learn by doing, not consuming. I love that feeling. Learn by doing, getting your hands dirty, right? Getting your fingers
That's
typing
right.
and stuff like that. I
Right.
love that. So, um, take a moment, talk about your community. Who's it for? What is it? Bring whatever you want to share with them, and then if you feel like it, maybe take them into it, right? So they can just see a little bit of it. But
Alrighty.
let's talk about that for a little while. And now the stage is yours.
Yeah, well, it's basically a space where we all just work together on whatever project we're working on, and bring it in as we're moving through the various stages, starting even with just the idea, how does this sound? And then developing characters, developing the costumes, the locations, I mean, all the different elements, and then bringing them together into the actual production. Um, how do you create, especially with AI nowadays, you can create amazing effects and everything. So just going through the whole build stage, and then afterwards, when you finish creating all the images, well, you got to put them together, and that's when they say that that's the second or the third time actually that the film is written, is in the editing stage. And when you take all these pieces and you make up the actual story, the final thing that people are going to see. But if you join my community, that's basically what we do. I'll take you right into the community here. We can see the first page. This is where you start from when you join. You would, join. It's $5 a month. Low price to get in, and then we just go straight into the community here, and you'd see that we've got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, this, for instance, right here, somebody is talking about this little movie that they're making. So I get in there and I'll talk about it and say, this looks good, and here's some stuff. Maybe you want to think about doing this and what have you. So then also you have the classroom right here. When you first join, all of this stuff is blocked off because you got to participate. Okay, we're here to do stuff and not just consume. So, but unlock at level 2. That means you make, 5 comments or 1 comment really in the community, and you'll get 5 likes, and you are automatically unlocked at level 2. Getting to level 3 is hardly anything, or you can just upgrade to premium. That's $25 a month, and there's a lot of other benefits that go with premium. But you'll have your welcome. You've got a basic workflow to build a short film. You can learn about choosing, what AI generation platform, if you want to see a little bit more. In here we've got just how do you, meaning and emotion in your short film. How do you write a film, a short film? We've got things under each of these places here, just taking you through production and pre-production and then that post-production. So that's pretty much what it's all about, and this is what you'll find once you're inside the community.
Yeah, I love that. And by doing that, I love it because for anyone who, is just thinking, "Oh, I don't know if that might be too much for me, right? It might be too advanced. I'm just in the beginning stages of thinking about doing movies." I love you sharing that because they get to see, oh, okay, this is where I could learn. I won't be overwhelmed by maybe pros who've been doing it for X amount of times, even someone who's been doing it for a year, right? It's a
Yeah,
safe. I love to say this to my community. I love to say it's a safe place to be a little dangerous.
that's right.
Right?
That's right.
No one's
That's a
gonna
good way to put
tell
it.
you, "Oh, no, you're 2 months into it. We don't want to talk to you." I see
No,
that.
no, it's very supportive, and we're
Yeah,
all at the
yeah,
same
and
level.
especially in this journey because you need a mixture of those things. You need a mixture of some
That's
people
right.
who are knowledgeable, some people are just starting off to rejuvenate the person who might have been doing it for a while and they're like, "Oh, I'm kind of bored." And then someone fresh comes around and they're like, "Oh, I get to see a fresh perspective and idea and stuff like that." And I
Yeah,
absolutely love that. So, and I want to ask a
that's
quick
right.
question before we take another quick sponsor break on this and share this with me. So, do you also get into maybe the theory? Because I understand that some people just want to make movies. They want to just come in and make a short film, but they don't want to take the time for like maybe understanding why they need a storyboard or to
Mm.
plan out. So is that some things that could be possibly in the classroom to kind of take them from that beginner
Right.
stage? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all of those things are in the classroom, and the classroom is more like a reference
Okay.
library. The real learning takes place in the community with
Yeah.
sharing things and talking about things,
Yeah.
um, and you always have you know all sorts of different lessons which can be referred to then in the discussions. Well, check out about the 180-degree rule, for instance. There's an article about that, and you can
Right.
learn all about it there. um, And then, you can bring that knowledge back into your own filmmaking.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Again, like I said, we we hear this and hearing that terminology that when you said the 180 thing, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So for me, I'm like, oh, I love it, kid in the candy store. So we're gonna take another quick short break. This one you guys will see from one of my personal softwares and sponsorships that I'm with. Been with them 10 years. Because you're looking at all this stuff and saying, how is he doing all this stuff? And it's brought to you direct from Ecamm. Live happens with the Ecamm fam. All of the stuff you're seeing done here. I'm going to put in the chat as well for anyone who's watching an affiliate link of mine that you can get a 14-day free trial with Ecamm. Let me see if this works on this thing here. Look at that. Ooh, look how sweet that is, right? Or you can scan that QR code and grab a 14-day free trial. But let me tell you a little bit about the sponsorship, and we'll be right back to finish up with Alec because we have a movie trivia question that he still is not aware of yet. So I'm excited about that. So let's go to commercial break and be right back.
To take a full crew and $1 million studio now fits right on your Mac. For years, professional video meant complicated setups, endless editing, and tools that never quite work together. Meet Ecamm. Ecamm is a complete broadcast studio built for Mac. Record, stream, and present all from one place. And with dual mode, you can stream in wide and vertical at the same time so your content's ready for every platform. From live shows to podcasts, virtual events to video courses, training sessions, even Zoom meetings, webinars, and presentations. Ecamm gives you control and a studio that just works the way you do. Built exclusively for Mac, so it's simple, elegant, and insanely capable. Ecamm, your broadcast studio.
Yes, it is your broadcast studio, and we are streaming right now actually in dual mode. I just put that in the chat to YouTube. You have the capability of streaming to 10 different locations. I don't know why you would. That's too much for my brain. But we can stream to other places. And what that means for anyone who's watching there, currently with Alec and myself, we are streaming vertically to YouTube and horizontally to YouTube as well. And next week I'll do Instagram, right? And so we're reaching a different type of audience because the horizontal video, it goes out to your subscribers, right? The vertical video is going out. YouTube is sending it out to the world, mostly to everyone. So it gives you a chance to also reach people you've never reached right now. And so currently we've got about 15 people watching right now. Shout out to all you 15 people, the YouTubers. Put some questions out there. And so on to the movie trivia, because we're going to get ready to wrap up here. So all you have to do is just tell us what movie. And for everyone else watching, you can type it in the chat if you see what movie it is as well. And let me just check something really quick because I did not see there. Oh, we had one question. Someone said, where do I go to get into Skool? Great question, right? So Alec can tell you his back line. Do you still have your page up? Can you go back to your share page? Matter of fact, we'll put that up so people can see that before we go into the last trivia one. And okay, so here's where you would go to see Skool. Let's go back there. And currently, if you look there at the top, you would go to skool.com / what is your community / Alec?
It's cinema.
Cinema. Okay.
Cinema. Yeah.
Look, simple, right? So that's where you would go to get into Skool and to get directly into Alec's community as well. So thanks for asking for that question. And then we will actually, let me see if I can put that in the chat as well. Are you, let me just, I'll put that in the chat for you all as well. So skool.com CINEMA, right? CINEMA. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right. Boom. So there you go. It is in the chat. Thanks for that. Because I'm gonna write that down. Make sure I have a link to put in the chat for future guests. Boom. Look at that. We all learning at the same time. I love it. All right. All right. So Alec, here we go. We're gonna get on. Just tell us the movie, and then I have a bonus question for you. Here we go. Boom. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Home Alone.
Yes, right. I told you I was going to make that one fairly simple.
That's pretty easy.
I think the entire world will see that one. Yeah. So now, bonus question for you: do you know what year it was made in?
Uh, Without
Ooh,
googling it,
yeah. Just
I'm
I
guessing
give you a hint.
1990,
What was that?
1990-ish, 1990-ish.
Oh, yeah, it was actually 1990. Yeah, so right on the
Okay.
dot there. Yeah, right. Taking it
Wow.
back. Now, we're aging ourselves here, and I know some of these generations are like, "What is that?" Look, that's how movies used to look. But man, that was high tech for us then, right? So, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So let's bring it back here. We're going to do our final sign off here. I'm going to give you a few moments to give any last words to our viewers, anyone listening and watching this here, thoughts of why they should come. Now's the time. Stop, procrastinating. Whatever. The stage is yours for your final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I would just think about what you're passionate about and go and join a school that you know addresses that sounds good to you. And there are a lot of free schools. Most of them are free, in fact. And just get involved. And eventually, who knows, you might decide to start your own school about your passion, because if you're passionate about it, somebody else is passionate about it, and you guys might connect together. It's really nice that way.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that so much because it is similar to kind of like how I started, right? I joined school in August of 25, but I didn't start my
Mm,
community until January, right? So I hung around, I just watched, I learned because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, but this
right,
is a cool
right.
place to be.
I know.
People are just, just enjoying. I see people helping each other, and I love being in that atmosphere. And then I was like, you know what? Let me kind of start my own school. And then I started it, and I didn't know what I was doing. But as I always tell my son, and I tell people, I say, um, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun doing it. And as long as I'm having fun doing it, I'm okay because I'm not burning myself out. I'm not feeling that way. So I
Right, right.
thank you for sharing this knowledge, and letting the people out here who are watching know about the opportunity it is to work with you and be with you in your space, in your community. Because whether we know it or not, the cinema world has played a big part in all of our lives for years, right? What would we be doing if there weren't movies to watch, whether it's
Right.
streaming or at the theater or wherever? Right? What I don't
That's
even want
right.
to think about that. Like,
I know.
wow.
I
What
know.
would we really, if there weren't movies to go watch, what would we be doing? Right. Hey, thanks so much for this, Alex. Stick around for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and then I'm gonna come back and wrap things up with you. And I appreciate this, sir. Thank you. Hey, Boston everyone out there, thank you all for being a part of coming to another episode of the Main Stage with Lion Flood. Keep coming because we're going to keep bringing guests in. Also, keep sending in your requests of maybe who you want to see come and talk about some things. Right now, our focus is directly on school, and I want to also invite you to come and be a Boston as well. Put in the chat the information to join my community as well, which is learning how to brand like a boss, right? And be a part of that. And then check out Alex's community for anyone who's interested in learning more of that cinema stuff. But if you want to learn how to do cool, great things like this, make your studio stand out like this, then come join Brand Like a Boss. We're gonna want you to come and learn and have fun. Be a part of this and be enjoying it. So thank you so much for being a part of here. And as I always tell you all, remember to continue to brand like a boss. I got a new sign off for you guys. Check it out. Tell me what you think. Brand like a